Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. We are from Group 24. My name is AFRINA BATRISYIA BINTI ASMADI and we have NURFARAH IRDINI, FARAH BAHIAH and MOHAMAD Farhan. So today we will be presenting about the acceptance of female driver for heavy vehicles among SAL and SAD students at University Malaysia Kelantan.
So I'll start the presentation with introduction. For your information, in logistics industry, transportation is the most important component, and in Malaysia, heavy vehicles such as lorry, trailer, bus and others driver is dominated by men, and it makes women driver face limited participation and acceptance to drive heavy vehicle. But as growing demand for transportation in logistics industry, it creates opportunities for women to drive heavy vehicle. So our study focus on UMK, SAL and SAD students acceptance, and our study align with Sustainable Development Goal SDG 5, which is gender equality. Next, we move on to our research objective. Number 1 is determine the current level of acceptance toward female driver operating heavy vehicle among SAD student at UMK. Next, identify the key factors influencing SAD student perception and attitude regarding female driver in the heavy vehicle sector. Next is explore existing initiative and barrier to gender inclusivity for a female heavy vehicle driver in the Malaysian logistics industry. Last but not least is to propose recommendation for enhancing acceptance and promoting gender inclusivity in heavy vehicle driving roles within the Malaysian logistics industry. Next, research methodology. We did a quantitative and we did a survey on your MK, SAD and SL students on acceptance of female heavy vehicle drivers, and our primary data is from Google Form, and we did a 5-point Likert scale, and our secondary data is from journal, article and also website. We did a questionnaire with 5 sections, which is demographic, acceptance, factor, initiative and barriers, and also recommendation. Next, our sample, we gathered 252 logistics students of UMK, and we analyzed our data using SPSS to gather data for demographic, acceptance, factors, initiative, barriers and gender inclusivity. And I'll pass the presentation to my friend.
Alright, so next I'll be sharing about our research questions. So the first one is, what is the level of acceptance of female drivers operating the heavy vehicles such as bus, lorry among SL and SAD students in University Malaysia Kelantan? The second one is, what are the factors that influence SAL and SAD students' perception and attitudes regarding female drivers in the vehicle sector? The third one is, what initiative and barriers to gender inclusivity for female heavy vehicle drivers in Malaysia's logistics industry? And lastly, we have, what are the recommendations for enhancing acceptance and promoting gender inclusivity in heavy vehicle driving roles within the Malaysian logistics industry? So moving next to our data analysis. So based on the chart, we can see that the overall chart for the level of acceptance show a very high acceptance level for female driver heavy vehicle. But also, we can highlight the high numbers of respondents that disagrees and strongly disagree about the suitable of woman driver for heavy vehicles. And then it also highlight the influential factors like cultural stereotypes about women despite the exposure in the industry about female drivers, and also the lack of training in a company. And as for barriers, the chart shows a high result on perceived gender incapacity and also government biases. So moving on to the recommendation to improve the acceptance of female drivers in Malaysia logistics sector. So for the first sector is education. What we can do is we can build gender sensitivity module into logistics subject at universities to advocate and also expose about stereotypes in early hand. And also we can offer practical workshop in handling heavy vehicles for female students to build skills, confidence and also getting exposed to reduce societal mindset gaps about gender. So the second one is for industry sector. What industry can do is they can implement training programs including mentorship, internship for women driver from experienced female drivers to overcome the lack of training skills. Also, they can promote flexible work policies like part-time shift to address work-life barriers. Company also should actively recruit female graduates and track progress via gender audits. And then the third one is for government and policy. Government agency can give subsidies for female drivers training and also anti-harassment guidelines. They can also collaborate with logistic industry for public campaigns highlighting about female competency in safety and operation, aligning with our SDG 5, which is gender equality. So for the last one is research. What we can do is we can conduct further studies, including law partnership, to explore more legal frameworks for gender equity in transportation, and using mixed method for deeper insights. We can include also infrastructure makers and employers in a survey to quantify bias impact, driving evidence-based policies with tools like SPSS for Malaysian context. So in conclusion, we can conclude that physical ability perceptions remain a key barrier to female driver acceptance, with key supports needed in safety, competency and social norms despite high overall levels. Industry and university leaders must drive policy for gender equality, aligning with our SDG 5 to dismantle stereotypes in Malaysia's logistics sector. And lastly, this underscores the survey's call for collaborative action to foster diversity. That's all from our group. Thank you.